He's that brother and he wants to come to the masjid and he doesn't have a ride and he has a family. Oh, my brother needs the car, I'm going to give it to him. The one who does that, Allah calls him righteous. And the Prophet ﷺ said that the truth leads to righteousness and righteousness leads to Jannah. If you have that one of the characteristics that the Prophet ﷺ has said, the righteousness, you are going to Jannah. Because you are giving away something from you to your Muslim brother because you love him. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't say that lying is a sin and sinning leads to hellfire. When the companions, some of them just converted to Islam. They were new to Islam. Especially the Arabs, people around the country of the Medina. They were very needy and poor. They knew that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he can help them by making dua. But the Prophet ﷺ didn't. He teaches them how to be patient and strong. He even tells them ﷺ, when he makes sujood, ask Allah for salt. Because they were out of salt. Abu Bakr never asked anybody anything. That's the point I want to mention is that for some of the brothers who Allah blessed them with wealth, if they don't want to give charity, we cannot be making them mandatory upon them to give it. Because the zakat is mandatory. Some of the brothers, they think that that brother is wealthy, he has to share wealth with me. No, it's not the case in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that He differentiates between you of the risk because of wealth. If the brother wants to give, alhamdulillah. If the brother doesn't want to give, we cannot force the brother to give someone. And also about asking. One of the Arab, the companion, he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he grabbed him from his back. And he said, "Oh Rasulullah, give me from your money, not the money of your father nor your mother." And the Prophet ﷺ turns around and he smiles at him. If it was one of us, we would be upset. Somebody is holding you from your back, and this is the Messenger ﷺ. And he turns around and he said, "Give me from your money." What did the father and the mother did to him? But these were the Arab, they were kind of rough, just new to Islam. The Prophet ﷺ turns and smiles. And he said, "I will give you." One of the ladies, she had a baby girl. And she knocked the door of Aisha, the house of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, how big was the house of the Prophet ﷺ? Not even the half of this room or the quarter of it. That's where he sleeps ﷺ. Then he goes to the masjid. She knocked the door. And she said, "Oh Aisha, I'm hungry and my daughter. We need some food." Aisha said, "Wait, I will have to look for something to bring it to you." So Aisha went inside. There is nothing in the house of our Messenger ﷺ. You know what she brings her? She brought her one date. There was only one date in the house of the Prophet ﷺ. She took the date. And Aisha, she hasn't eaten for 3 days. And she took the date and she split it in half. She gave the half to the woman. And she gave the half to the daughter. The house of the Prophet ﷺ didn't turn on fire to cook meat for 3 months. Bilal used to say, "Abu Bakr, al-hilal, ثم الهلال, ثم الهلال." Moon after moon after moon. And no fire is turned on in the house of the Prophet ﷺ to cook meat. He eats bread and water ﷺ. So brothers and sisters, we have to remind ourselves that this dunya is a test. That's the point I want to deliver to you. We are here for a test. Allah has created death and life so He can test each one of us. What are we going to do in this dunya? Because we will be asked. So we do the best we can to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we do the best we can to show our good manners and characteristics to our Muslim brothers. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-Muslim man salim al-mu'minun min lisanihi wa yadihi." The Prophet ﷺ said, the Muslim is the one who is safe from his other Muslim brother, from his tongue and his hand. The Muslim brother doesn't hurt his Muslim brother with his tongue, nor with his hand. Even though with the tongue is harder than the hand, because if somebody hurt you with his hand, you can hurt him back. But if somebody hurts you with his tongue, it stays in your heart for a long time. To cope with it. The Prophet ﷺ said, do you know who's the bankrupt? As we know in our time, the bankrupt is the one who doesn't have any money, any belongings, nothing. That's what the Sahaba said. Oh Rasulullah, the one who's bankrupt is the one who doesn't have anything. He's broke. He's poor. The Prophet ﷺ said no. He said no. The one who is bankrupt is the one who will come in the day of the judgment. And he backbite this Muslim brother. And he hit this Muslim brother. And he took away from this Muslim brother. And he oppressed this Muslim brother. Or Muslimah. Well, it goes for a man, it goes for a sister too. So this person he will take from his good deeds. And this person will take from his hasanat. And that person will take from his good deeds. Until he will have no good deeds. And he will take from their evil deeds. Until they will be heavy on him. Then Allah will order the angels take him to hellfire. And that's the bankrupt. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he grabbed his tongue after advising Mu'adh ibn Jabal. When he asked him, what is the best thing in Islam that I should do, O Rasulullah? He said, praying on time. Praying on time is the best thing Allah loves. It's mandatory upon us. The adhan is called on our cell phones. We turn it off, we go make wudu and we pray on time. No matter where we are. Because there is no excuse when it comes to salat. When you are sick, Prophet ﷺ says, sit down. When you cannot sit down, lay down. If you cannot pray with your eyes, there is no excuse for salat. If you cannot use water, use tayammum. If you cannot find dirt, even you can make tayammum on the wall. There is no excuse for salat, not making salat on time. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this day to bless us, to have mercy upon us, and to accept the brothers who are going to Hajj, to accept their Hajj. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those who cannot make it to Hajj, make it next year inshallah, and provide for them so they'll be able to go inshallah ta'ala. Ameen, ameen. Allahumma nas'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afafa wal-ghina. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت تولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا سوء وشر ما قضيت إنه لا يقضي ولا يعز من عديت باركت ربنا وتعاليت لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين